What's sound, man? Crypto Jeezy, man. Back in the building, bruh. Yeah. I had to take a little break. You know, I do a lot of editing, a lot of research, you know what I'm saying? Trying to put pictures together, you know what I'm saying? I like to kind of show verification, you know what I'm saying, when I talk about something, what I'm talking about. Uh those that do know me know, you know what I'm saying? I know, you know my story, I know of me, you know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying is all facts. I don't sugarcoat it. Uh, what I will do and will not do will be I will give y'all all facts. But what I will not do speak on nothing I wasn't a part of. Just basically what I wasn't a part of. You know what I'm saying? But the story, you know, I'm running to y'all just to look up the Breezy Chronicles. You know what I'm saying? Because people been asking about it, and it's gonna just lead to y'all just gonna be like, okay, y'all know my motto. It gotta make sense. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in to the Chronicles. Thank y'all for the support. Thank y'all for taking the time, trying not to get too, go too much. I know I was gonna start doing 8 minutes because it say y'all only sit into the videos for 9, but when I go to talking, I go to talking. Like I just go back to remembering, times, fun times, bad times, and all that. With that said, if y'all just tuning in, y'all know I'm talking about my homeboy, Daryl Breezy Franklin. Um, he was the head man on the 39ers case. He was considered the kingpin, the head honcho, whatever y'all want to say. But yeah, the last thing I left off on was how we fell out when we was in Atlanta after Katrina, and I think we like, I think the distance we had amongst each other winded up lasting all the way to, man, some years when you really think about it, because we rekindled in 2010. We rekindled in 2010, and Katrina happened 2005, or the end of 2005. So you know what I'm saying. The last time we had, when I told you I went to jail, that was in, like, I want to say April of 2006. So from 2006 to 2010, we wasn't talking. I think he sent word. He did send word. Like, I had to wind up going through some a parole violation, because you remember I told y'all I took the time for the drugs that they found in the hotel room. So what was so good was, around Katrina time, if the police ran our name in, they could run my name in and nothing to come back. And when we found that out, we was like, oh man, we running with it, like, because everybody had priors. You dig? So when we found that out, we just went to toting everything. It was like we was fresh. You dig? But it wound up catching me in the long run. I went and seen my PO, and at one time I went and seen him. He laid up there and they let me out. He had the marshals was waiting for me. Was it the marshals? Not the marshals. What them people? The expedite you and all that. Can't remember. No, the marshals. Somebody was waiting on me. They took me to the jail and Gwinnett. I waited there. Then I got expedited. They went around picking up buku people. They brought me to New Orleans for I had a charge in New Orleans, but it couldn't have been mine because it happened around when I was in Atlanta. I don't even want to talk about that. But it was a charge they had put on me. But it just didn't make sense because my whereabouts was in a whole nother state at the time. So that didn't even, I don't know if that's how they try to get me back down there or what. But after that, they brought me to DOC, did my time, did 2.5, no, I did 15 months. I did 15 months. So after the 15 months, I got released out, and I had an opportunity to go back to New Orleans. And I ain't gonna lie, like, I don't know if y'all ever had partners that while you was locked up, you hearing, like, they setting the tone out there, like, they names ranking. You hear people coming in jail talking about it, and they don't even know like that's your right hand, like that was your dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm just hearing it like I ain't talking to him. You know, we wasn't even speaking, but somehow right before I came home, I don't know how this happened, but he sent word for me to come to New Orleans. And you know, I catch the Greyhound. I'm going to Atlanta, but the Greyhound got to stop in New Orleans to get to Atlanta. So it was like, and then we talked. He like, man, come down, man. I got you. I'm like, man, yeah. That's when the first time we talked, and I was like, nah. I said, man, I'm about to go take care of this paper because I felt like what he did the first time. You ain't hold me down the first time. Why should I do this again? You know what I'm saying? I'm not knowing he really could take care of how he really wanted to, but and times had changed that how it was 4 years back. You know, he more seasoned and more, you know what I'm saying, understanding, you know what I'm saying, about how to, you know, hold people down and, you know, do the right things for people while they was in jail. So, I mean, he probably was looking at it differently. I wasn't. I was on paper and I wasn't about to, you know, that's 15. I'm not about to go back. You know, you first come home, you spooked on everything. So anyway, he was like, man, I'll pay for everything. I'll get your lawyer. We gonna get all that shit took care of and everything. I'm like, nah, home. I'm like, man, I'm gonna holler at you when it's done. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was the only conversation we really had. We ain't talking. I don't know if he felt some type of way of me not, you know what I'm saying, moving on his call, but that's just what it was. You know what I'm saying? So I laid up there and you know, shot. I ain't gonna lie. When that bitch stopped in New Orleans, boy, it was hard. Like you know, and it stopped for a minute for some reason. Every stop we made, it was quick. When we stopped in New Orleans, they had like a layover, and I was on the Greyhound. You know, the states, the federals, they always see you on Greyhound. And I'm like, man, I'm sitting there. I'm like, all I gotta do is just call him, tell him, pull up, and knowing that he'd have probably had somebody come send me, or he'd have pulled up, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He was in a position, but I just followed my first line. Man, you ain't ready. And gratefully for that, bruh. Like when y'all hear this story, y'all gonna understand why. You know what I'm saying? Me knowing him and everybody that was part of that shit that was going on to 39 is like how I was able to like to really walk away from that and not be implicated in none of that stuff. Because I feel like really, if I'd have got off that bus, I wouldn't be sitting here telling this story. I'd be sitting, you know, where everybody else at. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't too many people walk from that situation. You know what I'm saying? Really nobody. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was only one, and the only reason he walked away because he wasn't in it in depth. You know what I'm saying? He just was getting to the money. You know, and I ain't gonna speak no names on the person who it is. If you know the case, you know the case. I'm speaking about the people I want to talk about. But yeah, I wound up going to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying, and made it my home again. And when I made it there, you know what I'm saying, I knew in my mind I thought it was right. So I went in, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying, you know, to do it the legal way, you know what I'm saying. When I got me a little job. Well, I had to get a job. I came home, I had the little women was like blessing my game. One thing I could say about the women in Atlanta, shout out ATL. Man, I ain't gonna lie. I think I said this, I'm gonna say this again. ATL women, just a different kind, bro. And I'm saying this in a good way, a respectful way. Like ATL women, like they get to that bag. I'ma always say this, and this was like with every woman, even if they weren't from out there, they just adapted to the, you know what I'm saying, how the women move. I used to be hollering at women, and most of them would be like, I just got that Zelle from, you know, I got Jeezy Boo Thursdays every Thursday at 1 p.m. Man, we giving away money to a member on my channel, man. I just got the Zelles, they sending that money in, but yeah, there was something about the women, but I used to be talking to them like, look, I got work all day, I got school at night, but we can link up on the weekend. Man, I ain't lying. And when we linked up, they caught up for all lost time. I ain't gonna say that. Shout out to them ATL women, bro. Shout out to the ATL, bro. I ain't gonna lie, boy. I can't wait for a nigga to go back out there, bro. I'm already reaching out to my little yads out there. Some of them, you know, I understand, you dig, but hey, it is what it is. Some of them, you know, ain't hollering, some of them hollering, but it is what it is. So I went at the working thing he did, and still, and you don't understand, like the temptation of just hearing the stories of my dog, like how he was just taking over, like how he was getting to that bag, boy. I'm just hearing these stories, and I'm like, man, I'm supposed to be right there. You know what I'm saying? Because all you hear is the good, you ain't hearing no bad. So he came, he came out there. I told y'all we rekindled in 10. So I told you I did 15 months. I came home, I want to say, in '08. Yep, I came home in '08. We rekindled in 2010. He pulled up by my homie Dave Wu. Dave Wu called me. I pulled up, you dig, you know what I'm saying? I thought I was a little rapper then. Boy, y'all hear the music I used to be. I gotta find the songs. I'm gonna have to let y'all check that out. You couldn't tell me nothing, but that's why I say, remember when I always be on my page and I be like, if you got a partner, and they don't tell you they ain't it, they ain't your partner. Cause one thing I can say about that bitch brother, that bitch let me know it was not it. But if that's me telling y'all this, I'm gonna show y'all how the whole thing when we did with the mute, how all this took into play. So but he told me, well, not that first time. He just let it, you know what I'm saying. And he only heard one song because I just was, really getting into the studio game and all that. But um, we were that's when we were kindling. And I remember like this is when the 39ers, if y'all know the case so hard, he was getting it. They was getting it in. Like they was really like beefing with damn near the majority of the city. So he used to come like we'll have our talks. One thing I knew like he always come to me like for a voice of reason and like he knew, and that's why I think I hear this a lot, bro. And I heard this again from Giggity. He always to tell me he said what I respect about you, homie. He said you're not a yes man. He said when you talk, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna speak your mind, you know what I'm saying, but you ain't doing it in no aggression, you're just speaking it respectfully. And that's just me. Like I ain't gonna tell nobody what they won't hear. And I think he always to say this. I think cause he'll let me see that. That's what I be wanting people to do because like man, text me what you want me to say when we have our little back and forth on the podcast. But yeah, he just always came to me because I'm gonna tell him the real, and I'm not gonna put our friendship like if he telling me about another dude he rocking with, and I wasn't the type that try to push somebody out the picture, so I bind a break. I'm gonna just tell him real how I see it, and he just knew it was genuine, so he always came to me for a voice of reason and just somebody that just don't sugarcoat. And, I'm here now. He telling me the bad of what's going on, and it was like I'm like yeah. And my first question with him was like, how did downtown and uptown, like I never thought like it was called the 39ers. That mean it was the third wall and the ninth wall. Like you heard all the rap songs, uptown did they thing, downtown did they thing. So it was like, how did this happen? And he kind of explained to me, on that, you know what I'm saying, how did the click came. And I think the main thing that really stood out, he was like, Slug was bringing that fucking that heat toward him, you know what I'm saying? And this was like Slug, man, if anybody knows Slug, bro, one man army. He got his crew, but dude was just that dude, bro. I'm always say that and not get too in depth, but y'all, if y'all know, y'all know. But I mean, the stuff I'm telling y'all can go look at it. If y'all put the 39, they got videos out with this stuff, man. Like that's, and some of it's accurate, some of it's not. That's why I'm just y'all gonna hear my side, cause I'm right in. I know exactly what was true. I've been around all them. If it wasn't on the streets, it was in the feds. But yeah, he told me all that, and the funniest thing he ever told me, bro. But he was so serious. We would watch. One thing we would always do when we was in the streets. We would watch. Um, we had a thing about just watching drug movies, documentaries and shit like that. It was just so intriguing. Like, who win if you win this game? You won't know, what comes with it. Like, just learning stuff because you could take something from everything. So I was like, I was proud of him because where he came and how we started and where what things was was going for him. And I was like, damn, bro, like. I asked him when we first started talking about it, I said, man, bro, how you get to where you at? Like, cause we grew up together, like we did this together. I done stepped away from it and come back into it and hearing it and to see where he just was at and the levels he was at. And I was like, man, homie, like, deep down, tell me what. In his response, he like, I was watching The Wire. And I was like, what? He like, man, I was watching a while. You know, that's what him was helping him build his organization or whatever. You know, he was doing. He was taking it, and I'm telling you, just watching it, seeing how they was organized, seeing how they was the respect level they did to get respect. If you watched The Wire, you saw them dudes really ran their shit like the black mob, like they had orchestration, they had everybody had positions and all that there. So I guess that's what he was taking from it. So now while he running, he tell me what's coming behind it. I'm like, you sitting here, coming to me for, I don't want to say advice, but for just a different way of looking at us, some, ideas. And I'm like, well, how you got stuck? Like, like, why you can't figure this out? What you need to do? And his response was, The Wire stopped on season 5, and he was so serious, dog. Like, man, I was like, man, I couldn't do nothing but laugh because if you know him, like that bitch gonna keep it real. He not gonna bite his tongue. And I'm like, damn, a movie. You wouldn't believe when a series gave. I mean, he been a hustler, but it helped him to where he became Breezy. Like the name he established, the stuff that came behind it, like just to know that was like damn The Wire. Like I done watched that so many times, and just to see how he was when I know the stuff that was going on and watching The Wire. If you go listen to these documentaries they got out about him and all that, you'd be like, oh, dude, really? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's how you learn from some everything. You can learn something from anything, so you got to take from it. You know what I'm saying? And use it to your advantage. How you gonna use it? So anyway, like, so I'm talking about, he was like, man, I got body. I'm talking about bodyguards, and like, man, we move deep. We don't let them, you know what I'm saying? It was just, but they just, boy, one thing I could say, dude was setting that fucking heat, putting that heat on them, bro. It was crazy. So what I tried to do was, I reached out to, and this was way from because, man, like I told you, I had a relationship with everybody, and I don't deter. Even though brother was my day one since the beginning, I was big on loyalty. And I think when I couldn't go to brother, like, you know what I'm saying, I was working, so it's times if you working these little 9 to 5s, and I'm talking about I was working when they was paying motherfuckers $8 an hour and thought that was, you know what I'm saying, cool. Like I remember my boss told me one day, he said, why you always look mad? He called me off. He said, you always look mad. You don't look like you happy. And I had to tell him, dude, I'm making $8 an hour. What the fuck I'm going to be happy for? What is to be happy, man? I'm barely making it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying all that to say, like, you know what I'm saying? This is why, there was times I couldn't even reach out to my dog, and he got that bag. Like, you know what I'm saying? He getting it, and I couldn't even get, help with a bill or something, you know what I'm saying? Even though I'm my own man and he ain't entitled to it, it was just that I couldn't, but I was able to call Slug and like, I'm like, homemade, And remember, this was the one I told y'all watched the other videos. Slug was the one that was coming to me and just driving like, man, it's you. Just if something happened, look out for my family, or and I'm talking about this was like for months, and he never come ask for nothing back. So it was, for to know that I still went at him years later and it was still love. Like I ain't, I told y'all I went in the mix. So with me able to have a line on him, calling him, and I was like, man, I need this for this. I think I needed to pay a car note or something. And man, he said, and we were so respectful, I gotta get a shout out to him. Shout out to Slug, man. I was like, man, I need to pay this. You know what I'm saying? I'm paying bills. I'm doing that now, by myself, but the money wasn't money in. You know what I'm saying? I'm making $8 an hour. I got a car note, rent, shit in life. You know what I'm saying? And I needed it. And I'm like, man, say, bro, I ain't really want to ask him, because man got their pride, and I ain't talked to this nigga, and all the shit he did. I was like, say, bro, I need this. And it wasn't none. I think, what was my call note around that time? I think I had to pay every 2 weeks, so it's like two something. You know what I'm saying? And dude was like, that's it? He like, come on, man, that's it? He said, man, that's nothing. I had this to you in less than an hour, like, because, that was the time where I don't even think was Cash App a thing. I don't know, but he had to send, how did he send it? I don't know. But man, I got a text with less than an hour saying touchdown. And when I looked, wherever he sent it at, I don't know, account, I think he put in my account. I don't know, he sent it. And I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? That kind of made me like, kind of question my friendship with Breezy. Like, damn, I can't even go to him. He gonna spin me and something like that, or whoopty whoop. But I can go to Slug, you know what I'm saying? They at each other neck. If y'all hear the story, they was at each other neck. You know what I'm saying? And it was all, and then I talked to him. So with me doing that, I felt I was in good graces with Slug to like try to resolve what was going on. And so when I talked to Slug, I'm like, "Say, bro, what's up? What's up with that?" And he just ran. He like, "Man, that's my dog, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I do for him. You know his love. You know what I'm saying? He hurt me." And it was just off hurt egos, pride, and just a lot of misunderstanding. But behind that, it was World War III in them streets, like, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, y'all, and I reached my mark, man. I gotta make these shorter, but I just go to talking, and you know what I'm saying? I can't stop it. I'm gonna end this, and I'm gonna come back, and that's what we gonna do. We gonna drop it like that.